It's no secret at this point that EA and PopCap are just incapable of giving the fans what they want. Every one of their social media posts is flooded with requests for Garden Warfare 3, or even like a single game. Can we play a new Plants vs. Zombies game sometime soon, please? Oh, you're gonna make us replay PvZ3 again? That's exactly what we want to do. If they won't give us what we want, then we gotta make it ourselves. There are tons and tons of PvZ mods, mostly for the second game specifically, that range from changing the characters to have cute little anime faces, to full-on brand new worlds, plants, and modes that are leagues better than the original game. Or at least, that's what I've been told. The goal of today's video is to play some of the more popular or interesting Plants vs. Zombies mods to discover for myself, once and for all, if they are actually better than the official games. And for you all who are watching, to get a detailed look at each one to see what you want to play or what mods you should skip. From Reflourished to Alternate Universe and even PvZ Fusion, we very well might be discovering some of the greatest Plants vs. Zombies content currently available. Only one way to find out. Let's get started. Just what mod would be best to start with? Well, they're all pretty massive, so let's start by looking at a wide range of smaller ones that are either really cool or really funny. I already showed you guys that anime one that has no real effect on anything, it just makes every clip of gameplay incredible without context. There are plenty of mods like this that are purely cosmetic and don't change anything else. PvZ Kindergarten has a wonderfully cute style and changes the entire graphical style of the game. PvZ Classic Horror gives all the plants either scared or evil expressions, while every single zombie is just a straight up demon. These mods put a lot of work into animating every single character in their style. Others like Plants vs. Zombies, it's about, does a little bit of everything, bringing in PvZ characters from across the franchise as skins in the original Plants, as well as a few meme ones here and there. The level design is different too, it's a pretty cool mod. And how could we cover visual changes to PvZ without looking at Robotnik vs. Squidwards? Truly a modern masterpiece. These are sort of as simple as PvZ mods get, but I thought it would be fun to cover these first, as they are still cool to see. But obviously none of these are really better than the original game, except Robotnik vs. Squidwards of course. So let's move to the real subject of this video, full mods that are either additions to what we know and love, reworking the game from the ground up, or just being a completely new experience. Let's begin with a short one that has been highly recommended, Garden Rush. As far as I know, it was developed by the YouTuber Creeps20, which is really cool. It's one thing to be like me and simply play these games, but to make your own is going above and beyond. And the fact that people love it is only a testament to this creator's knowledge of PvZ2 mods. It's a short 10-level adventure, so I'd like to just cover my experience with it. The first level is pea shooter only. It costs a little more too, but as far as first levels go, this is pretty standard and fairly easy. But I love this environment here, the Needleblight Forest. It's really pretty, and the music is awesome. I really hope it's okay for me to play it here, and I just want you all to know you nailed the soundtrack. Anyways, once you beat the level, you get an Endurian power-up? Through level 2, you can use both the Endurian and Squash for the first time. They're free power-ups, so you simply wait for them to charge before using them. It's a really interesting idea. They're both way weaker though, Endurian dies very quickly and Bugheads can survive a Squash Stomp. In level 3 we finally get a Walnut, which has so much health compared to the stupid Endurian. There's also some Ents we have to protect. These are from the Chinese PvZ2 I believe, so I've never really seen them in action before. It's almost like getting a brand new plant. The difficulty is already ramping up 3 levels in, no thanks to those newspaper zombies. In level 4, there's a new tree pruner zombie who swings right into the middle of the stage and is fairly fast. And we get Sir Cabbage III. It's not just your average cabbage pole, this is a hero plant. So he's free to place, but you only get one. I believe this is an idea from another Chinese PvZ game, and it's so cool how this small little mod juggles all these ideas across the series. Beating this level gives us the Three-Peater, who we can try out through level 5, a fairly difficult stage once again. Finally we unlock the freaking Sunflower. And I start getting flashbacks to my only bad plants challenge video when this little pop-up appears on screen. My nightmare is only confirmed here because I finally caught up with the difficulty of this mod, mostly thanks to the dang balloon zombies flying past my defenses. The Sunflower only produces 25 sun, which only adds to the difficulty of earning 1000 sun before the level ends. After losing a few more times, I checked out the almanac and realized we get some free premium plants, Kernel Pulp, Cactus, Peanut, and our second hero, Susie Wiz. So I tried her out alongside the Peanut for defense and Cactus as my attacker. She turns the closest zombie into an armored Endurian, which is insanely helpful. Cactus has lost one of its most fun abilities, transforming into a spikeweed. It's just a scaredy shroom now! Still, gotta say, this level went better than expected. Before we can beat the game, we're dropped into a bonus challenge. There's more of these I'm pretty sure, but I'm gonna wrap up after we beat the game. We're tasked with protecting chompers with 0 power-ups or lawnmowers, and apparently kernel pults and peanuts were the wrong choice. I came back in with my trusty wizard instead and won fairly easily. Those photographer zombies were pretty scary though, insta-killing everything it shot at. We got our final power-up as well, the Needle Burst. This thing is going to carry me because it's pretty dang OP. In level 9, I found a setup I really liked. Spikeweeds, kernel pults, and of course, my favorite girl boss wizard. She's awesome, why would I not use her? The final wave consisted of a horde of balloon zombies, but we made quick work of them. And don't watch while I almost lose at the very end by forgetting about this endangered end, and instead check out level 10, the final battle. No zomboss, no conveyor belts, just an incredibly challenging fight with all the zombies we've gone up against throughout the world. I did my best with the strategy I liked from level 9, and everything was honestly going swimmingly. And then the music changed, the tips of some electrical poles came into view, and that's where the final challenge really began. These Gargantors have a ton of health, can't be hit by my favorite wizard, and there's a regular horde of zombies in the mix getting in the way. I think Kernel Pult was an incredible idea, they never really made it far into the level, and before I knew it, they all started to fall. And just like that, we beat it. There's bonus levels and an expert mode version, but let's go through my thoughts on the game. It's really cool. Holy shit, I forgot I actually just like playing Plants vs. Zombies. It has the feeling of a new world in PvZ2, but it's so much different at the same time. The levels are harder and go on way longer than any PvZ2 level. The power-ups and heroes make the way you play much more unique. And you can only have 4 plants at a time, so you really have to choose your team wisely. Now, not everything is perfect. Some producers were kinda pointless, I thought. Like they almost shouldn't even be here. With only 4 slots, I never felt like I wanted or needed to bring them in. I liked having a really strange collection of plants, rather than the hundreds you choose from in PvZ2, but some of them just weren't good enough, you know? Once you find the plants you like, it doesn't necessarily encourage trying the others. And that is a real stretch of a complaint, honestly. I'm having difficulty coming up with negatives. The map doesn't look as highly detailed, but do I still love it? Of course! Plants vs. Zombies Garden Rush is a really fun PvZ experience, and I would love more like it. Not even updates to this one necessarily. I really like starting fresh and unlocking the 20 or so plants they decide to include over time. Would I say this is better than PvZ2 though? I don't think it'd be a fair comparison, honestly. The sheer amount of content in PvZ2 is hard to beat. Did I enjoy the level's difficulty, length, and theming more than most PvZ2 levels though? 100% dude, absolutely. I'm sad to say that I just can't call it better than PvZ2, but by no means is it bad, and I really hope Creeps is working on more PvZ mods because I'd love to try them. If you're like me and you play mobile games until 4 in the morning, it's usually so bright out I can hardly sleep. But now I sleep as soundly as can be thanks to today's video sponsor, Manta Sleep. This is without a doubt the most high quality sponsor product I've ever received. These sleep masks are comfortable, completely adjustable, and even customizable. They sent me cooling eye cups that can be swapped out super easily. With summer starting, the days are getting longer and it can throw off your sleep schedule. Using a sleep mask can ensure you get the rest you need no matter how long the sun stays up. Using the link in the description with the coupon code JakeMiller, you can get 10% off your order, and if you're the first of 500 to shop starting May 26th, you'll get a free Founder's Favorite sleep accessory kit. Thank you Manta Sleep for helping me get the rest I need so I can play mobile games at any time of day. Speaking of, let's get back to doing that, shall we? Anyways, let's move on. One of the biggest, most important, and most highly recommended PvZ2 mods is, of course, the one and only Plants vs. Zombies 2 Reflourished. I'll be going through it, and right after, I'll cover the PvZ DLC edition, as that seems to be in the same tune of what Reflourished mainly is, more content for PvZ2. With no plant leveling, the return of the minigames pop cap removed for no reason, and obviously no ads or microtransactions because it's a mod. There's some rebalancing too, attempting to make the broken plants less OP. We'll have to see if any of that was successful or not as we play, but just so you all know, I did not sit down and play through all the worlds already in PvZ2. Reflourished is massive as it is, and the whole point is that it is as close to PvZ2 as you can get, but better. There's 3 new worlds, and some secret ones I'm itching to play, but after you beat modern day, there's actually 10 or so added levels to each world in the game. So let's play some of those first. That way I can get a good idea of the level design, the difficulty of the game, and can give Reflourished the amount of attention it deserves. I won't spend too long on any world or go level by level or anything, just a quick recap of my experience here. Right away, my goal was to mostly use the proper world plants in these bonus levels, and then I lost like 3 times at the exact same spot until I stopped being stubborn and brought in the walnut. Having defense is 100% needed to beat these difficult stages. They throw a Gargantuar at us on level 1. Level 2 was a sun requirement level, of course, and with 9,000 sun I could have made 5 whole ultimatos. I ended up having to stall at the end because there was no way in hell I could produce that much sun in just 3 waves. Asking me to plan my defenses was tough, only winning with the lawnmower's help, and the conveyor belt level was insanely easy by comparison. There's even a mission to destroy 50 gravestones. That's a fun idea. I may or may not have gotten stuck after that, but I don't want to linger on any one world anyways. That's not what this video is about. The Pirate Seas has more varied level design, as well as new zombies like a scary fast pelican. For some reason, Ultimato is a world plant now in the Wild West, and these new bulls are horrifying. I'm traumatized by how I died here. I quickly found out just how crucial the power tiles are to your success in far future. I even had a powered up magnifying glass who's free in this game because it got 100 sun per shot now. I'm honestly not a huge fan of Dark Ages usually, but I love it here. Sunbeam is free now, actually making it usable. There's a crazy amount of new zombies, these weird new wizard ones are especially creepy, and overall I just really enjoyed myself here. I remember when Big Wave Beach was impossibly difficult before, and I can only imagine the hard mode mods this game has. I'll be trying a few at some point in this video, and don't worry, I am not looking forward to it. The levels here weren't too terrible though, I have to say, and I appreciate that very much as a casual player. Frostbite Caves has a ton of unique level ideas, from 3 rows of endangered plants right up front to entire fields of changing lanes. I had almost forgotten how much I hate the weasels. I don't even know what was happening in Lost City. I was just playing and having fun, and then all the zombies got big and scary and I cried a lot. Neon Mixtape Tour didn't feel different at all. It's probably my least favorite world in the original, and I can't say I enjoyed it anymore here. I was really hoping for some new dinos. I didn't see any, but every once in a while a group of them will run a train on my plants, which I certainly wasn't expecting to see. And of course, we end on modern day. I'm pretty sure this level I played had every single new zombie I encountered throughout the levels in it. And every Gargantuar variant, of course. What an insane finale. Except it's not. We got more levels starting with Holiday Mashup. This just makes a ton of sense. PvZ2 has had an event for every major holiday, and now all those elements can be shoved into a single world. Not to mention the list of seasonal plants in the game. It's simply perfect. I haven't played many of the levels in the original game, so I'm honestly unsure of how many of these zombies are brand new or just from PvZ2. I definitely recognize the giant imps who throw tiny business Gargantuars, but I am not familiar with the giant-headed freaks that show up now and again. I really love how often the background changes, and how they're able to incorporate every season throughout the whole thing. Some levels are just strictly one holiday, like this 4th of July level early on. Others, like the first big conveyor belt stage, is just a random assortment of anything and everything. Kind of like modern day levels. Sometimes they're straightforward, other times you're dealing with every type of zombie you could possibly comprehend. I love the gift boxes too, which plant random zombies for you when they're broken. This makes for my favorite level in the entire world, a gift box minigame. It's similar to Vase Breaker, I suppose, but with a bunch of grave busters you just tear through your gifts and build up your army. There's not any attackers you can personally plant, so it's really important to keep everyone alive. On the final round, I brute force all the gifts open with the melon pulp plant food. Who even needs grave busters? The penultimate level is really long and does not go easy on you for a second. It's really the final challenge of a pretty dang difficult world, and I'll talk about the difficulty of these levels once we play through the whole game, but I'll just say, as a casual player, this took quite a while. I was super excited to see the Zomboss fight most of all, as this would have been made completely from the ground up, and I am so happy to say it exceeded my expectations. Most of the plans you get are from the seasonal lineup, and it seems like Zomboss isn't really doing anything here. He can't even move, but once you get past the first wave, he time travels to the next theme. That is so awesome. Each round is pretty short, but to just see all the environments and unique zombies as we go, it made for such a fun final boss. Way more fun than most of the Zomboss fights. It got pretty bad at one point. I kinda just assumed I would never recover, but I refused to give up, and we actually made it through every season. Again, as a completely new Zomboss fight, I could not have asked for anything better. Next up is the Steam Ages, which is actually from the Chinese version of PvZ2. A little less exciting I suppose, but completely new to me. It's very strange feeling at first, the vibes are just off. especially with these weird assortment of plants I've never tried before. One only blows wind to stall zombies a bit. There's a repeater clone and a new lobber, and they're all pretty cool. I'm just in completely uncharted territory, except for Peanut and Cattail. I'm so happy she's here, it's crazy she never made it to PvZ2. There's also little spots where zombies come out of throughout the level. You can place flying plants on them if you want, but if it's not a defensive plant, it's probably gonna die. I kinda just prefer to plant everything behind them. That way a zombie will pop out every once in a while and affect absolutely nothing. Again, it felt weird at first, but the more I played, I really started having fun. The concept of zombies spawning behind you isn't brand new, but these little sewers do feel like they changed the game a lot. Trying to find the right place to plant sunflowers is really unique. And the new zombies? Easily some of the coolest concepts I've seen. The umbrella guys are pretty basic, and the blimp one just makes sense, but the mechanic zombies and their big machines that spawn clockwork zombies? It's awesome. Really tough to deal with, but awesome. They are a completely original creation by the devs of the mod, and they clearly put a ton of effort into the designs, animations, and execution. Well done. It definitely went by faster than the seasonal ones. There are less levels here after all, and before I knew it I was facing Zomboss once again, and he's piloting a steam train, so perfect. They had to animate a bunch of this, I'd assume, and it looks really great. The fight is pretty hectic, and once you're towards the end and all the clockwork zombies are spawning, you either save some plant food to deal with it, or if you're like me, you scramble. Zomboss had just a sliver of health left, but I was fresh out of plants and lawnmowers. I was basically just putting everything I got right next to Zomboss in the hopes of killing him in time, and it actually worked. I don't know if I deserved that victory, but who cares, it's done. The newest world is called Caliginous Carnival, which is mostly new but also reuses a lot of zombies from the carnival events PvZ2 has held. Reflourished at this point is just proving PvZ2 could and should have made more levels with all the content they put out over the years who just refused to. Where the hell is the Rome update, PopCap? I've never really played those carnival events, so this is all brand new to me. The environment is really awesome looking, and there's little cards on the ground with different effects that occur when you place something on them. I brought in some cool plants who actually are exclusive to this mod. The world isn't finished yet, so at this time there's only 2 new plants here, the potato chip and the caramel popcorn. And do tell me how much you hate the way I pronounce caramel. I live off the many ways you can pronounce that stupid word. I also brought in the solar pea and the void orchid just to give them a try. I like new plants and they did a great job designing these, especially the carnival ones. Trying them all at once was pretty hectic for sure. I wasn't 100% sure what half them even did. The potato chip is genius. Since it's a potato, it explodes like a mine. It's very weak, but free. The plant food spawns a whole Pringles can of them up front too. Caramel popcorn is straight up just a kernel pult and sapling in one, but that's really smart too. Apparently this was in the beta of PvZ3? They still had to make a 2D design for it here, but it's cool they got such an on-brand plant from an official game. The solar pea gets sun from the zombies it kills, and it can be a straight shooter or a lobbing plant. Can any other plants do that? Why the solar pea? And I had the stupid void one. I'd rather use a sweet potato any day. The final level takes everything we've seen and throws it at you at the same time. Try to pick out every zombie on screen right now. Did you catch the monkeys? Cause I sure didn't. I got overwhelmed on this stage quite a few times, but once I learned to really focus on Boom Balloon Flower, a plant I barely ever use, it went well enough. And definitely take out those stupid creepy jack-in-the-boxes before it's too late. Well, seemingly we've beaten all the new stuff, but if you scroll back a little bit, you'll find the Travelogue's Tourist Trap, just filled with random bonus levels. But keep scrolling, I said keep scrolling! And there it is, Assault Airspace. Finally something I am familiar with. These levels are called Sky City in PvZ2 China. I'm reuniting with my old friends Loquat, Asparagus, Horsebean, except in this game, they have all these weird names. You're telling me P15 Peaglepod is somehow a better name than Horsebean? I don't think so. In these levels, the zombies don't really care about your brains, at least not at first. There's this barrier they need to break down with a health bar to indicate how much they've done at the top. There's only a couple lanes you can place most plants on, which is why a lot of the new ones can fly. Although, they add these little clouds to some levels so you can place more. How convenient. I remember the plants of this world not being great in PvZ2 China, and they definitely feel better here. Loquat and the Saucer got some much needed upgrades, but they're still nowhere near OP, and probably cost a lot more than they have any right to. I love how different this world is. I assume that it's in the bonus section because of that. Watching the Gargantuars fly up to wail on your shield is horrifying, but so dang cool. I had a blast with these levels. One of my favorites is this Intensive Carrot level, a spiritual successor to that one from modern day. It's all pea shooters and torchwoods, it's awesome. And they give you a million tile turnips you can do this. They've included the flying minigames. It's nothing more than some bullet hell, and as you go your plant will upgrade and become stronger. My experience with the official PvZ2 China levels were completely broken. This stage wasn't working and wasn't fun. So it was incredibly gratifying for it to not only work as intended here, but I was actually able to win! I feel like I just cleansed some drama I experienced in my life in this very moment. The final boss is really cool, a big vulture mech. I found it to be incredibly difficult though. Maybe I'm just bad at these airship levels. Actually, yeah, that's 100% it. Anyways, thank God I looked up info about this shit or I'd have never found Hypothermic Hollows. Another secret world. It's just in this events tab, who knew? I'm probably not skilled enough to beat everything here, but I definitely want to give it a try. The lore is that this takes place decades after Frostbite Caves, but by the looks of things, it's kinda just more Frostbite Caves. I mean, the first level literally offered nothing new, and even as a guy who sucks at difficult PvZ2, I kinda wiped the floor with the zombies. Level 2, well, it put me in my place. This is why I said I wasn't going to commit to playing all 20 levels. I started doing better and man, these levels get crazy. It's not really a world, but there's 20 levels and a bunch of new stuff. Eventually they do give you new zombies, which is pretty cool, and even get a new plant, the flameweed. This thing is great for the weasels. I'd love to replay the normal Frostbite Caves levels with this thing on my side. Alright, I think I've played enough Reflourished to give it a ranking now. I didn't play every single level, but I spent days doing nothing but playing this game. Now, if you were playing a bad game, that would be grueling. You'd grow to despise it. So thankfully, PvZ2 Reflourished is not a bad game. If you like the official PvZ2 but just wish it was better, that exists now. I just played it. All the original levels, plants, and zombies are so good, and even if some are better than others, there are always fun ideas, always unique and interesting. It is a tough game for sure. I am as casual of a PvZ player as you can possibly be, and I was not used to the challenge I was forced to face here. And the crazy thing is, Reflourished is considered one of the more laid-back mods. The difficulty here doesn't compare to the majority of the others we'll be covering. I won't lie, I did get frustrated at times, but nothing ever felt like something I'd never beat, just something I need to experiment on and maybe try new plants to beat. But I will say, if you want an easy and chill game, that might be the one upside to just playing the official PvZ2. I think that one's pretty dang easy, even without the pay-to-win plants. I do wish my experience playing this game wasn't crammed into a single weekend. I wish I could have just took my time with it and enjoyed the experience of basically playing a bunch of brand new content for PvZ2. If there's something really cool I missed, please let me know, cause I'll just go check it out in my free time. I cannot recommend Reflourished enough. I completely understand why everyone loves it and always suggest I play it, and there is no doubt in my mind that this mod is better than the official game. Will any more mods today receive the same praise? Let's find out. Let's take a break from PvZ2 for a moment. The original game has mods too, and since we covered a DLC-like mod for the second game, let's try the Plants vs Zombies DLC mod next. It was highly recommended to me, so I expect great things. Also, this is apparently impossible to play in HD or something. I might make it smaller on screen if I can, otherwise I apologize for the somewhat low quality footage. Anyways, we start out right at the end of the first game with 2 levels to go. You might think I'd be annoyed to have to replay these, but man, I forgot how much I love PvZ1. I may have lost immediately, but I'm getting warmed up, okay? What's typically the final level is brand new, and I believe is the only change to the original game. Well, besides the new fast forward button. My writer brain appreciates that very much. Anyways, the whole point of this mod is that it only adds content to what existed already. But yeah, it's surreal to have a normal conveyor belt level, with plenty of ice shrooms and doom shrooms to destroy the Gargantuars. Then we unlock... what the hell is that? Pult shroom? Strange to not call it shroom pult, but whatever. That means we are now in the roof night levels, which is really the natural evolution. I can't believe Pult shroom is free, that's crazy. The one big gimmick of these levels is the blood moon, which strikes for only a few seconds at a time. But every zombie on screen dashes forward at top speeds, and it pretty much triggers on the final wave always. At the end of this one, we get the water pod. It's a lot bigger than I was expecting. This makes so much sense, I'm shocked it never existed in the base game. Thanks to the water pot, you can plant anything you want in any stage now. I used it to bring in Tangle Kelps for a few levels before realizing I could literally just use a squash and save myself a seed slot. We get our first instance of a PvZ2 plant in the first game's art style with the one and only lightning reed. We're all familiar with it, although I feel like it's just not as helpful in the first game than the second. I guess with these new crows that spawn in, it's pretty decent, but otherwise not so much. Next is the hurricane, which looks great, but I never really used it. I probably should, but I'm the kind of guy to choose a jalapeno instead, you know? Then we get the fire shroom. Maybe I was tricked, but I believe this was in a Chinese PvZ game first. It's a walnut that deals damage as it's eaten. It's actually pretty dang good, I can't lie. I also went and got some new upgrade plants from the store, so I get to try out the Icy Fume Shroom, who kinda clashes with the Fire Shroom, and the Super Chomper. Very cool upgrades. Next is a Pickled Pepper, which is a jalapeno but vertical. Pretty helpful, I won't lie. A new type of Gargantuar shows up here, and with his axe he takes out all adjacent plants. He is scary, and I'm not looking forward to seeing him more in the later levels. I barely killed the last one thanks to that brand new Pickled Pepper. And we unlock the Electric Pea Shooter. It's too expensive, so I didn't get a chance to try it until we get the real Zomboss fight here at the end. We're at night now, so this is perfect. It was tough, but I got through it and unlocked the Bee Shooter at the end. I love that design. Before the next world, I gotta say, this just feels like classic PvZ. They have nailed it, even the new plants already feel right at home. I am having a blast, and honestly, maybe it's crazy to say, but I am much more excited playing this than our previous two mods. I know it's crazy, I just love PvZ1 a lot, and having more is just a blessing. Now we move to the camp, which is kind of foresty. I think this was an environment in PvZ3 too? I can't remember. I assume this mod existed before then. We meet a new freak too, Sergeant Samson. In this first level I get to relive my PvZ adventures days with both the Bee Shooter and the Ice Queen Pea, a new upgrade plan, until I lost horribly. Yeah, I'm not sure if I really like the Bee Shooter. He only shoots at the strongest zombie in a lane, so he'll completely ignore zombies eating him if they're weaker. But he can shoot the zombies in the bushes, which seems to be the big gimmick here. Oh, and the sun that falls from the sky is the smaller one, only 15 at a time, which is so cruel. At the end we get the Charred Guard, who seems to have fallen out of its own seed packet. I saw there were minor zombies in this level, so I thought I'd finally try out the Sea Star Fruit we randomly unlocked in the last chapter. They have homing shots, it's pretty cool, and Charred Guard works exactly as he always does. Then we get my boy! It's about damn time Bong Choi is here. He's definitely not as helpful as he is in PvZ2, but that's okay. He's still my son. Next is Aloe. What the hell is he doing here? I decided to try using it to heal pumpkins, which works pretty well when you don't ignore the Poco zombies. But genuinely, it's probably the best way to keep a Bong Choi alive. I even brought him some spike weeds to really deal some damage. I can't wait to see what plant we get this time. It's a PlayStation controller? The strangest plant I've ever seen. The next level is a stormy night, which is famously good for recording footage, so I won't show much, but it is cool to have a little flashlight to fit the camp theme, and when you take down the Bigfoot zombie you get a bunch of money. Now we've unlocked Oak Archer, who's incredible. He was in PvZ2 China, but he didn't have tiny little twig arms in that game, so he's infinitely better here. We've started to see the few new zombies now, like this net guy who stalls our plants, or the lumberjack that can insta-kill whatever it swings at. The next level gives us Shrinking Violet, who I really did not expect to be here. I guess it just makes zombies small and weak, but it seems like a pretty complex concept. I managed to shrink the Gargantuar at the end, but died to a stupid bird. That's it, I'm going back to the anime one. But one more playthrough nets us the Lemonade. That is an insane looking plant, I love it. Seems to be an upgraded cherry bomb, exploding 3 times somewhat randomly. This is how I found out I could have been blowing up the bushes the whole time and I had no clue. That is very unfortunate. Then I unlocked the Ampliflower, who is supposed to give a boost to your plants nearby. If you watch closely, the plants near her move faster for a few seconds when she glows. I'm probably not going to use this one much. Let me know if that's a bad decision on my part. I wasn't intimidated by the new zombies with shotguns until I wiped out my whole row and killed my Lemonade before it could blow up. That is insane! The final level gives you so many plants when all you really need is the Lemonade. But since the lanes are so full, your real enemy is the leaf blower zombie that pushes everything back one space, and the stupid Bee Shooter that ignores the weaker zombies. Everything was going great until the game crashed. That's never fun, but what can you do? I went back in, finished the chapter, and rolled the credits, singing along to Zombies on Your Lawn all the way to the end. I'm really sad it's over. I was hoping it would have a few more worlds because the ones here were so much fun. I didn't even get a chance to try all the new upgrade plans. Bravery Shroom is a really funny idea. They added new minigames too, but I think I want to keep those a surprise for those of you who are interested in this mod, because I love it and I really want to encourage people to play it themselves. It's going to be getting a new update either very soon or during the time I'm editing this video, so go check out the new content added. It's kind of a dream to just have more PvZ1, and they did it so well. The plans feel right at home, the new worlds are great themes with good music, scenery, zombies, everything. It's an incredibly well-made mod that doesn't tarnish the greatness of the original game, it only makes it better. I am sad we must move on. We're back to PvZ2 with a mod titled Fallen. For our next two games, I was told they were both creative takes on the formula. They go outside the box, introducing something new and exciting. In Fallen, there's something called Corrupted Worlds, completely new environments based on the first two worlds of the game. But before we get to those, let's cover how some of the main game has changed. And if you don't care, feel free to skip right to the Corrupted Worlds. They're pretty cool, I won't blame you. In just a tutorial, we can already see how they've changed the UI. The buttons are square and the seed packets have new designs. And while at first it's a very simple stage, suddenly we're getting random plants from across the worlds and a ton of gargantuars in the tutorial! From the dialogue and the fact that the level is called New Game Plus, it seems like this game takes place after the original PvZ2. Revisiting Egypt, they comment on coming back and having to start over, collecting all the plants again. The gameplay seems to be more similar to the first game. The first world only has 10 levels, and I'd assume the rest will be the same. And these levels are way longer. Plants have different costs now, sunflower starting at 75 sun, and the bloomerang is a whopping 275. The levels in Egypt are a lot more diverse too. One stage has the majority of the zombies appear in the middle lanes, and they really like to use the gravestones as a way to block your placement of plants, or just entire rows. It makes for fun level variety for sure. Level 5 is a brand new minigame. You can't lose, the zombies can't eat your plants or your brains, they just follow the path and you get points for killing them. A tower defense mode like a balloons level essentially. Placing your sunflowers right at the front of the lawn is not something you'd want to do in a normal level, but here it's almost necessary. I'm excited to see more of these. Since there's only 10 levels, each one feels more important. There's more sections of dialogue, more introductions to zombies in quick succession, and by level 8 we're fighting gargantuars who can kill iceberg lettuce before it activates and holding on for dear life. Unlike the original game's Ancient Egypt, where almost nothing happens for 25 levels or so. Level 9 is even worse, with endangered plants right up into the 4th column. Level 10 isn't a Zomboss battle, but it is a conveyor belt showdown against the biggest horde of zombies we've faced yet. The second world is, surprisingly, the Lost City. Apparently, as we go, the zombies from the previous worlds will continue to appear. We might be getting sarcophagus zombies in Neon Mixtape Tour, we'll have to see. Now that we're a bit more acquainted with the game, I'm going to go faster through each of these worlds, only covering the brand new stuff we see, and just generally giving my thoughts on how each world is handled. It is a pretty strange feeling to unlock Bonk Choi in Lost City, but they've made it so that they kill the dragonflies easier, encouraging you to bring them in to fight them. It seems like level 5 will always be a minigame, and in this one there's only parachute and bug zombies. If you let them touch the ground for more than the time limit you're given, you lose. And you can only place 15 plants at a time. This was genuinely a challenge for me. They've mixed in endless levels too, where instead of beating every zombie, you just have to survive for a certain amount of time, being 5 minutes here. I'm honestly surprised this was never in the original game, it just makes too much sense. Well, maybe it could be good. This level was incredibly easy compared to most stages, since there weren't any waves. Zombies just came and went, and for the first minute and a half I only killed like 2 zombies. Hopefully there are better time levels later on. Something called hyperspeed activated, and I truly couldn't tell what that meant. Thankfully, they tell you. The wave advances faster as it's active, so more zombies spawn during hyperspeed, I guess. The final level looks crazy, with ice shrooms completely vulnerable right up front, but most zombies fly or spawn past them, so it's not that hard. Unless you use Stalia, who apparently pushes zombies backwards in this game, triggering the iceberg lettuce and making me fail. But yeah, it's pretty easy, and I beat it, so let's move to the Wild West. I finally took a second here to look at how the almanac was structured. First is sun producers, then attackers, then melee, then piercing shots, then freezing and slowdown, then magic, then defense, then explosion plants, and finally tools. I kinda love it like this. I'm curious if anyone else agrees. Oh, and for some reason pumpkin is the only redesigned plant, which I kinda prefer honestly. They seem to like to cover the ground with useless tracks in the Wild West, just giving you less space to place your plants. There's a new zombie called a Bitten Prospector that is incredibly annoying. He can't be frozen, has crazy high health, and in return, eats plants at a snail's pace. It's such a weird zombie to deal with, I already hate it. There's also something called the Western Mirage, and literally all that happens is a bunch of poncho zombies walk through the stage. Most of them are fake and are just there to freak you the hell out. That's genuinely evil, knock that off! They unfortunately brought back the same Wild West minigame as the official one. I hate this one, and I'm really not good at it. The level is sort of a puzzle, and once I placed everything where it was meant to go, it all went much smoother. With the new class system, some challenges will block entire classes from being used. No stallers here. That made for a pretty tough stage, with all the bowls coming through. And I had to produce a bunch of sun. The next challenge is losing less than 9 walnuts in this insane stage. And look at the zombies we're dealing with. I was pretty nervous, but it actually went completely fine. I only lost 4 walnuts by the end of it. Gargantuars don't stand a chance against me. I hated the final level. I really don't like dealing with the minecart stuff, but it's fine. I beat it eventually. So I'm really enjoying playing through all the levels, but my goal of this video isn't to cover literally every aspect of the mods. That would suck. You'd have nothing to discover for yourselves. But more importantly, I don't want to play Plants vs. Zombies 2 4 more times by the end of this video. For the next PvZ2 mod, we will start at Pirate Seas, playing 3 or so worlds just like we did here. I hope that makes sense, as we have a lot of PvZ2 left to play. And not only do I want to keep the viewers from getting fatigued, but especially myself. Anyways, you may have noticed I was playing an early version of this mod, but if we jump to the newest version, we unlock Corrupted Worlds. These levels are the big reason I consider this game creative, as you are revisiting a world like ancient Egypt, only now is frozen over. New zombies, mechanics, and even plants are here to try. There's 2 Corrupted Worlds as of now, so I'll play them both. And from there we can start to get excited to see the Corrupted Wild West and Pirate Seas in their next update. So the first thing I noticed is my bonk choice will not stop punching these crystals, but I didn't understand why. Then I tried shooting at it and saw what was happening. Projectiles bounce off of them. In the next level, I thought I was really smart to bring in the split P to shoot the ones in the back, but I guess I was so smart that the devs didn't think to make this work. Oh well, can't say I didn't try. You can only shoot forward at them, now I know. I didn't notice this at first, but each of these levels are also mirrored versions of the ancient Egypt stages we played earlier. When these more evil torch zombies are introduced, they mostly go down the middle lane, just like the 4th stage with the regular torch zombies. Obviously, this one has a lot more going on though, and I confirmed it with this minigame, which was the exact same as it was before. At the end, we unlock our first brand new plant, Frostburn Bells. I decided to give it a shot in the very next stage, and I guess I'll never be trying them ever again. Alright, I restarted and gave them a real chance to do something. Seems to be a glorified snow pea that explodes zombies when they get close. It's alright, just not good against those souped up torch zombies clearly. The design doesn't look right at home with the art style of the game, but the animations are pretty nice and it's still fun to try something new. I really enjoy the new Corrupted Egypt levels. It's a really awesome idea, and only the start of these messed up worlds. The new mechanic, these crystals, can make for super fun levels too. Building up a bunch of peas to hit a big guy all at once is an incredible feeling. There's even zombies with big shields that can only be hit from the sides or back, so you bring in lobbing plants or just shoot at them from the sides. They aren't perfect though. I never recorded it, but all plants target them, even stuff like a squash prioritize them. Those kinds of mistakes make it a little frustrating at times. The final level is nuts, with red crystals that make you shoot your own plants. By the end, I was rich thankfully, but the lawn was completely empty. It was really cool watching the center get more and more cracked over the course of the stage too. Let's move to the corrupted world of Lost City, an autumn-themed environment. It definitely looks less polished than the first one, but as long as the stages are fun, I can't complain. There's leaf piles that can either cover something good, or could be hiding a zombie. You'll only know if you place something there. I also unlocked a plant called the Sundranger. You tap to activate it, dealing some damage to the closest zombie, and if they die in the next couple seconds, you'll receive some sun. Fun idea, I probably won't use it much though, but I do love its design. The leaves begin to cover plant food tiles and spikes, which even zombies can activate. There's giant tree guys that spread leaves out when they're killed, as well as mushroomy, foresty looking zombies everywhere. Level 4 introduces a really tough concept. Corrupted zombies have double the strength and speed, and when they die they drop purple sun that removes sun from your bank. You can have negative sun. I can't even afford an iceberg lettuce. You can try to just not collect them, but they don't seem to go away. Only the skull zombie absorbs them. I really kinda hate it, and I hope it's not around a lot. It changes the way you play for sure, but tapping near them and still collecting the purple sun is extremely frustrating. Anyways, we got a new plant. Let's just see, the chameleon conceals plants for 3 minutes? That's kinda crazy. There's a zombie who also conceals themselves, making this trample the flower stage pretty tough. As we make it to the final level, we've reached morning, and now sun is falling from the sky faster than we can spend it. There's also leaves covering the screen. Onslaugh's a zombie so powerful you can spend multiple plant foods just to kill a single one of them, and definitely one of the toughest stages of the game. Pretty cool finale though. I've been talking about this mod for so freaking long, dude. We gotta wrap up. Fallen is very different compared to something like Reflourished. Its goal is not to add on to PvZ2, but to change it from the ground up. You're going to have a vastly different experience playing this game, and that's pretty cool. I respect them from trying to make a new game with the graphics and settings of PvZ2. It's a hard thing to get right. And even after getting to play through all these chapters, you get the corrupted worlds as a bonus. They've added so much here, even if you don't bother playing most of the main adventure like I did. These new levels alone make this a pretty incredible mod. Sure, there's less levels, not everything is as polished as it maybe should be, but they put in a ton of work to make this as unique of an experience as they can, and I really enjoyed playing through it. I think they have something really special here, and so many really fun and smart concepts I honestly can't believe they haven't been done before. As of now, I'm gonna say it's not quite better than vanilla PvZ2. I do not mean to say it is bad or worse in any way. It just simply isn't close to finished, I feel. Ideally, once there's corrupted worlds for at least half of the game, I think we've got ourselves one of the greatest PvZ mods ever made. So I encourage you all to keep up with it because I know I'm going to. Now we have another game for Plants vs. Zombies 1, based on Plants vs. Zombies 3? That's right, welcome to PvZ Delturbia. Once again, since this uses the original PvZ engine, I'd assume, sorry if it's a bit pixelated for all of you watching. It looks best on a minimized screen for sure. Anyways, I'm not sure what to expect here, classic PvZ1 gameplay or a brand new adventure. Well, we start off as always with 1 lane for the pea shooter, moving to 3 lanes with the sunflower, and getting some more classics like the cherry bomb and walnut as we finally expand the lawn to 5 full lanes. So far, it seems to be nothing but an art style change. I know a lot of fans don't like the PvZ3 designs, but I actually think the art style of that game was its one good quality. The designs of the plants here feel a bit in between the two art styles, very angular and expressive, while very clearly having the flaws of being hand-drawn like the original game. The animation is super fluid, and I'm sad it's not all in HD. Still, it's very cute, and I'm excited to see more of the plants in the style. Even Crazy Dave is cute. Who am I kidding? He's always cute. They also remade the main theme of PvZ3 in the style of the first game's music, and it's incredible, of course. After we go walnut bowling, we unlock the potato mine, whose loss is red antenna, which might be controversial because it's iconic, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't like it. And still, it feels as though we're simply playing a reskinned PvZ1. We soon unlock Chomper, and well, he's certainly less cute. On day 10, I finally got a glimpse of the horrifying walnut when he's nearly eaten completely. I don't want to plant walnuts ever again if that's gonna keep happening. Well, we're finishing the day levels, so we should be unlocking Puff Shroom and Cabbage Bolt. That's strange. Well, clearly the second chapter is where the game completely changes. And strangely, it's extremely similar to the Cant levels from the DLC mod. You get less sun from the sky and everything. Except we're planting right on the dirt? So unsanitary. And I didn't even notice at first, but look how many plants I have placed. Only 4 lanes? That feels like Plants vs. Zombies sacrilege or something. In the next level we get Laser Bean. Of all plants to get in the forest, I wasn't really expecting him. But we'll take it. I immediately started having trouble. I feel like the difficulty really spiked all of a sudden. I beat it with just 1 lawnmower gun after a couple tries, I'll be honest. Then we unlock a Popcorn Pult. Interesting choice. The Popcorn Pult is not too different than the Kernel Pult. A problem I'm facing is I can't really afford many of the expensive plants, and it feels like I need Laser Beam because there's always big clumps of zombies. Every level in Chapter 2 has zombies rush you before you can even get set up, which adds a lot to the challenge of this game, but also feels like it ruins the typical pace of PvZ levels. I'm not personally a fan of it, but if you like hectic waves of zombies, then I suppose this is right up your alley. Next we get a little shrub that can fill in the craters for you to plant on. Considering this is the only brand new plant in this version of this game, it's a little disappointing, I won't lie. Also, you might have noticed this is an endangered plant level in a PvZ1 game. And of course, I have to protect potato mines, so they just die instantly. This level easily took me the longest to pass. There's a cool portal minigame with a sneak peek of the goo pea shooter we'll unlock in a couple levels. The conveyor belt levels are baby easy compared to the main game. It's a pretty strange juxtaposition. They're usually easier for sure, but in this game I go from trying a level 1 or 2 times to destroying the conveyor belt level without even putting a single thought into it. Next, we get a squash to help take out the football zombies who are incredibly fast in this game, and like I said, we'll get the goo pea shooter pretty soon. This thing is really good because it ignores armor, taking out the bucket and cement heads in just a few shots. A redneck zombie appears to shoot all of my defenses. That was really freaking cool of you. Last but not least is a Bambazooka straight from PvZ3. He's pretty dang powerful here. He doesn't need to reload or anything. Oh, and I unlocked the Tall Nut too, I almost forgot. After the final conveyor belt level, which again was pretty easy but definitely the hardest yet, they teased the next plant we'll unlock in their first update. As a demo, they had quite a bit going on in the second chapter. It's pretty impressive. The first chapter by comparison is a bit boring, as it is almost exactly the same as the original game just with a new art style. Oh, and the pole vaulting zombie had giant boobs too. Didn't want you to miss that crucial design detail. And this pause menu bunny girl, you cannot forget about her. I am excited by the idea of Delturbia continuing to make new level themes in the future, adding more plants from the games and original concepts, and basically making a brand new hybrid PvZ game in this fun art style. I think it's got some flaws as of now, as I discussed while playing, but this is the first version of the game, and I don't think that means it will never be fixed. And it's not even bad now, I just think it could be improved. It's not better than the first game, and who knows, maybe someday it'll turn out to be the best mod out there. We'll have to keep it in mind and wait for the future updates. But the better question is, does Delturbia beat Plants vs. Zombies 3? Duh! I enjoyed playing this 2-chapter demo 1,000 times more than slogging through hundreds of crappy levels. This isn't even a contest! I had a whole section planned to talk about the game PvZ2 Shuttle, and then I played it and had zero fun and crashed out super hard, so instead of half-assing it, I'm choosing to just move past it entirely and cover a game I actually think deserves the spotlight. Welcome to Plants vs. Zombies 2 Zombtopia. What's special about this one, you ask? Remember iZombie from the first game? Do you miss that minigame? Well, great news. With this mod, you can play the entirety of PvZ2 as the zombies. I cannot wait. The tutorial gives us a good glimpse at the gameplay here. This is no longer tower defense, it's not even tower offense. This is just a straight up puzzle game now. You need to eat the brains at the end of each lane, and you need to collect sun from the sunflowers to spend on zombies. You can't just always use bucket heads or you'll run out of sun. You want the potato mines to kill the cheap brown coats and to rush down the pea shooters with cone heads or higher. The game is pretty dang slow. I'll probably play the footage back in 4x speed because it just takes that long. It's fine playing, but watching it is kinda rough. After the tutorial, we're dropped into Jurassic Marsh. That's pretty fun. It does get old playing Ancient Egypt first over and over. The primal peas are fairly weak, but their shots push the zombies back, so you gotta play at least 2 per pea shooter to make any progress. Then we unlock some bully zombies, who cannot be knocked back, so you'll want to lead the charge with them in these levels. The conveyor belt stages give you a limited quantity of zombies, making them equally as difficult as the other levels, just removing the sun cost from the equation. QE beasts are introduced soon after, going through all 3 evolutions before they die. This is a problem as they can hurt zombies in other lanes too. Then we get little egg imps, and when they die they spawn a pretty beefy little friend. They also walk much faster than the other zombies, making them way more useful than you might expect. There's a single level with each type of dinosaur there to help you. It's pretty difficult though, and sometimes the dinosaurs got a bit bugged, so I lost unfairly. Cactus are one of the more annoying enemies because you can't kill them normally. Only dropping eggs on them can take them out. Your zombies will have to survive the spikes to win now. We also unlock a new bully that can insta-kill plants. Easily my favorite zombie so far. In the final level, it's a free-for-all, and you have to clear all the lanes before the time runs out. You get all the zombies you want, but the plants will respawn. And trust me when I say it's not at all as easy as it might seem. Next up, we're moving to Big Wave Beach. Of course. The puzzles begin to get very difficult at this point, with multiple retries on each level just to understand what I'm meant to be doing. Except the second level, where you unlock the snorkel zombie and can beat the whole thing by only using the snorkel zombie. It's definitely helpful to be invisible to your attackers. We get to try out the other egg imps, who I forgot to mention are all from PvZ2 China. One of them kind of places their egg as a shield, and the other has a baby brontosaurus inside. Its mother will get pissed and stomp the area around it, killing everything in sight. It's helpful, no doubt about that. Our next new zombie is the clamshell, by far the beefiest zombie yet, who can insta-kill most plants, and when it dies, 2 imps launch out in the adjacent lanes. I love when it dies right at the end, spawning the imps directly on the brains. Clamshell zombie is my favorite zombie in this entire game, and I use it as often as I could. I watched a certain YouTuber I'm not allowed to name play this level, and they said it took them the longest to figure it out, but I guess I'm just a clamshell expert because it only took me 2 tries. The imps just gotta eat the flowers in the middle. From there it's basically a free win. You can use the shell to Trojan horse a smaller zombie right behind it, making for a beautiful ending to the level. The last level of Big Wave Beach is the same as before, but when I got all the brains, the timer didn't stop, and I lost with 16 seconds to spare. I had to play this thing like 5 times before I had such an incredibly lucky round that there was still 1 minute and 45 seconds on the clock, and 20 seconds later, the level ended. The final world currently available is Frostbite Caves. With the new dodo zombies, it's not always about killing every plant in a lane. Now it's just trying to fly over them without getting shot too many times. These levels are really hard, and when I won it was always just barely. Sometimes I liked the challenge, sometimes I felt like the puzzle was just too complex to justifiably solve, especially when you get to choose the 4 zombies you want in each level. Sunbeams are added, making the clamshell so much more useful because you can make some real cash if they eat one. We also get weasels, who are supposed to spawn in 3 lanes, but my game glitched and only spawned them in 1. And then we reach level 6, which was so unbelievably difficult for me that is now the final boss of our Zombtopia playthrough. Firstly, there's turkey poults, tiger grass, and ghost peppers, 3 plants I haven't encountered once before. I'm given octo-zombies, who are bugged in my game, weasel wranglers, who are bugged in my game, and a bunch of egg imps and dodos who are way too weak to kill any of these plants. It was pretty obvious that the weasels need to activate the potato mines to help get the brontosaurus egg into that section of plants, taking out a ton of the attackers. The octo-zombie is supposed to help take care of the rest, but like I said, he's bugged. He's meant to throw his octopus from far away, but for some reason in my game he won't do it until he's right next to a tiger grass or turkey pole. So we have to help him get all the way to the back, and then he'll actually be pretty freaking incredible. But even with all that, the few weak zombies I had left couldn't make it past the 2 plants that were left in those 3 rows. I was always missing a brain or 2. I kinda just assumed it wasn't gonna happen, but I thought that while the octopus zombie did his thing, I might be able to get that brontosaurus egg 1 column further, taking out the middle plants entirely. I tried for quite a while and assumed my game was too bugged for it to happen, but I told myself I'd give it 1 more shot. And what do you know, that stupid little imp took so little damage he strolled right past the cactus, threw his egg down where I needed him to, and the brontosaurus did its thing. The aftermath of all of this left 3 pepper poults and a single cactus. I freaking mopped the floor with this level. And still that single cactus nearly ruined everything. Thank God I had 1 final imp to deal the rest of the damage to that brain. I honestly cannot believe I beat this bugged out level. I'm proud, but let's be done now. I can only imagine how many more problems I'm going to face if my zombies don't work correctly. So yeah, having these game-breaking bugs is definitely not good, especially in a puzzle game. Clearly there are ways around this sometimes, but still, if there's meant to be a solution, it should hopefully work correctly. I only knew these were bugged because I watched gameplay of other people playing, and their zombies actually working correctly. But besides all that, did I absolutely adore PvZ2 Zombtopia? 100%! My god, where's the next update to this game? I want more worlds right now! I love this shit. I love that there's a mod for PvZ2 using everything the game has to offer but changing the gameplay as drastically as possible, and reviving a beloved minigame from the first game. The fact that it works so well not only means they did a great job, but also means it's stupid this doesn't already exist officially. There's a bunch of bonus levels in each of the worlds, more zombies I didn't collect, and the ending to Frostbite Caves for you to discover, so please go play this. It's really well done and I love getting to learn and experiment with each new gimmick. Better than PvZ2 though? I'd play this 100 times before I played PvZ2, but they're not really even comparable, right? They're completely different games. So no, unfortunately it's not a better game, but it's one of my favorite mods we played today. At the end I'll give a list of my most favorite mods to least favorite mods as well, for those of you who are curious. The next game on our list is Plants vs. Zombies 2 Requiem. It sounds cool, it seems to be a similar idea as Fallen was, so let's jump right in. There's a small homeworld stage with only 5 levels, giving us our first set of plants. We only earn 25 sun per drop instead of 50, plant recharge times are very slow, and plant food seems to have different effects sometimes. Sunflowers is the same, but if you give it to a pea shooter they have a permanent upgrade, and the repeaters is a lot slower but lasts for a long time. I guess I'll have to experiment with each new plant to see if there's a new ability. Our first world is the Pirate Seas, which is awesome because I was going to start there anyways. If you look at the almanac, every plant can be purchased whenever you want to, which is a pretty interesting idea. At any point you can just build whatever team you'd like, as long as you can afford it. That also means you won't be unlocking any as you play. You have to choose the plants you're going to own. That is either very appealing to you or very off-putting depending on your playstyle. I haven't seen any other mod do it this way before, it's cool. There's only a couple new plants in here, strangely. It's just weird to have 1 or 2 new ones, not a bunch or none at all. Anyways, I tried out the Sun Urchin first. When played, it'll drop on zombies and send them rushing forward, but when they die, you get some sun in return. Not a huge fan, honestly, but I suppose it's an interesting idea. You know, having to buy your own plants is growing on me a bit. I got to a level with the barrel rolling zombies and I thought to myself, man, I don't have a good plan to deal with this. So I jumped back in and purchased a spikeweed, adding him to my team. I really like the idea of that, evaluating what you need and then spending your coins accordingly. A change a lot of these mods seem to have made is giving the cabbage pole the ability to hit any zombie in its adjacent lanes. It definitely makes him more unique this way. There's a reason to use him now. There's a new type of challenge. Rather than just earning 750 sun, we have to place it in the bank before the final wave starts. I like the idea, finding the right time in your defensive plan to spend some extra sun. The final level of Pirate Seas is pretty long and stressful. The top and bottom rows are tough to defend with all the mold colonies. I made sure to spend my plant food on the pea shooters in those rows that had some gatling peas pretty much solely protecting those lanes. And with tall nuts, bonk choys, and chompers, it's hard to get past my defenses. There's even a little cutscene where we destroy a disco mech for some reason. We get 3 options for the next world we want to play, but they're all worlds we've played in the other mods. We need to skip ahead to the Dark Ages. There's a bit of a time skip here, and now I have a bunch of plants, including the mushrooms. I got stuck on the first Trample the Flower stage for quite a while though. There's little sun rocks you can break to earn your income, and little pink spirals make zombies temporarily invincible. There was just a lot to juggle here, and mushrooms are notoriously pretty weak. The mushroom doesn't die over time anymore, but now he costs 25 sun. Definitely a trade-off. There's also invisible zombies who can walk right past your plant. That's a bit unfair. They still exist, but they can just walk right through as they please. I love these tumbleweeds, by the way. Fighting the waves of kings and knights while every possible zombie gets pushed back by the stampede was awesome. I also really enjoyed having to protect the mushrooms in this penultimate level, and I think it was a great idea on my part to bring in the charred guards to do so. The final level kinda sucks dookie, but I like the idea. The screen just goes dark for a few seconds at a time, forcing you to memorize the screen right before it disappears so you can still properly defend everything. It was going fine until the invisible zombies appeared again. That's real cool. I already can't see. Being invisible is just redundant, you freak! There's some brand new stages too, beginning with Rome Remnant. It is still so done that we had a full-on Rome event with these zombies still appearing in Penny's Pursuit and everything, instead of just making a new Rome world. Why not, PopCap? Why not? It's truly the perfect custom world for these mods to add though. We got the environment, we got the new zombies, all they gotta do is mash it up into a set of levels and it feels right at home. So, these levels feature a bunch of stones that don't block your shots, but you'll have to pay to clear them if you want to place anything here. We're immediately starting with a huge threat, the pre-zombie. Religion in my PvZ game? Just kidding. I do actually hate this guy though. He'll turn the closest plant in that lane into a zombie, so if you aren't prepared, you basically just instantly lose that lane. It's best to throw something random in front of him to prevent such a catastrophe. There's something called salad season, maybe a Caesar salad, that covers some of your plants but also forces the zombie to eat through it first. There's also little carts that drive through, and when they bonk into something, some imps fly out of it. Let's just say I wasn't prepared to deal with that either. Don't let the zombies trample the flowers. There were flowers there? What is happening with these trebuchets? How am I meant to kill these things? I'm fighting stone figures and Medusa zombies? Actually, this is the first level to go well for me for a change. Who knew teleportato and durians and winter melons were the key to my success? The whole time these stages looks like a complete unwinnable mess, but in reality, I actually had everything under control. Well, except the bottom row at the end, but we don't talk about the bottom row at the end. Other than Rome, there's a couple other extra level packs. I'll leave these mostly for all of you to discover for yourselves, but I'm curious, so here's a sneak peek. Time Twister is a pretty cool addition for fans in the know of this big unused content from PvZ2. It's a scrapped world. Time Twister is what modern day became. Obviously, they repurposed the icon and level environment for Penny's Pursuit later on, but having it be the finale in Requiem is not only a deep cut, but almost like an alternate reality version of what we got in the official game. It is quite the hectic world, with so many new random zombies you're forced to deal with. Cool stuff, all of it way too difficult for me to have any chance of beating though. The Encore world is more of a minigame pack than an extra set of levels. Across the worlds you've already played, you'll get a bunch of new challenges, like this one. You're supposed to plant a walnut in each diamond by the time the level ends. That's already a super creative idea and is the first of many little bonus levels. Requiem's got a lot of cool stuff. Now let's talk about it. Obviously, the big differences are the balancing stuff like earning less sun, the OP plants costing more and the weak plants getting needed upgrades, and the fact that you don't unlock anything organically after the tutorial. You have to buy and collect the plants you want to use. This obviously requires a good understanding of how the game works. You need to know what strategies you're going for, what plants will do best in what situations. Or maybe you're so good you get a single team and use the same plants throughout the entire game, who knows. As there's only 10 or so levels per world, each one has a lot more thought put into it, and the worlds go by fairly quickly. Obviously, this is a huge game that would take you a very long time to play from start to finish, but it's really fun to just sit down and beat an entire world in one go. I think Plants vs. Zombies 2 Requiem has a lot of cool stuff, and if you're a fan, it seems like the creator has already begun working on a second mod. I'm personally not good enough at PvZ2 to pick out my own plants and come up with fun strategies. I'm a normie who likes to have that kind of stuff picked out for me. This is Editing Jake coming here to say I originally rated this game worse than PvZ2, saying it didn't have as many original ideas as Reflourished or Fallen. I'm still a casual loser and I don't think it's better than PvZ2, but the more I think about Requiem, the more I realize it was really well made. It deserves more credit than I initially gave it, and I think fans of PvZ2 will love it way more than something like Fallen. So if this at all looks up your alley, I'm pretty confident you're gonna love this game. Before we cover the last two big boy games, I just want to say that I originally planned to include Eclise in this video. Also, please, someone explain to me why it's not spelled correctly. I've never seen anyone explain it. I can't find anyone talking about it online, and I really would like to know. Anyways, Eclise was the original PvZ2 mod. It almost certainly inspired the other games on this list, and we have to thank it for that. But I've been informed that its creator is not a good person. Apparently the newer alpha is just worse compared to the beta version, and just in general this game sparks a lot of heated and unfun conversations. It feels important to mention Eclise, but I would prefer to not give it a spotlight in my video. Some people try to separate the art from the artist. I'm not a huge fan of that mindset personally, but I do get it, and no shade to anyone who still likes Eclise. I'm sorry if you think I should have included it, and all I can ask is you to understand why I'd prefer not to. Now, come on, this is a fun Plants vs. Zombies video. Let's move on from that and cover one of the coolest games on here, PvZ Fusion, which isn't even a mod, by the way. This is a full-ass game. I'm warning you all right now, Fusion is a massive game, and I'm going to do my best to see as much as I can. There's another fan game called Hybrid that's a similar idea, but very different, and rather than covering both today, I'm only doing Fusion because, as far as I know, it's more popular, but let me know if you like Hybrid better. Anyways, if you've seen my videos before, you might have an idea of what this game's all about, and if not, well, check out the first level. Just sunflowers and pea shooters, right? Wrong! This game instructs you to place a pea shooter on a sunflower, and congratulations! You've just entered the most magical and exciting Plants vs. Zombies experience of your damn life. Every plant you get can be combined. Right now, all we have are pea shooters and sunflowers, so you can work your way up to a Gatling pea, a twin sunflower, or a pea shooter sunflower hybrid that shoots sun. Next we get the cherry bomb, creating some explosive sun, or some deformed looking pea shooters. I actually don't know what the hell that is. I am actually like giddy playing this right now. It is so cool that you can unlock a single plant like the walnut, and you're actually unlocking multiple new fusions. Look at how vastly different these three walnuts are. You can even make a giant rolling walnut, and fusing them heals them, giving you even more of a reason to do so. They've also added a glove, allowing you to move plants you placed, allowing you all the more freedom to fuse as you wish. I also just noticed sun collects automatically. Holy Lord in hell, I can't believe how wonderful this game is. Once you unlock the potato mine and start trying his fusions out, they introduce us to fused zombies. The pea shooter heads are here, and I can only imagine this is just the start. So far, Cherry Bomb has got to have the best combinations, by the way. And Chomper, he makes for some of the funniest. If you fuse a chewing Chomper, they refresh, and the Chomp Nuts even heal themselves. They're like vampires. There's also a prize box you can use. It kind of just makes a random common combination, but allows us to see some new fusions we haven't had access to yet. Snow Pea is a little sneak peek for us here. I cannot wait until I can regularly use this Doom Shroom Chomper. Now, the zombies can even drop things like buckets you can use to make metal variants. The list of cool ideas and new fusions just goes on and on, dude. As we begin the nighttime levels, we get Puffshroom, of course. He's interesting. You can play 3 of them in a tile, and once you fuse all 3, you can divide them up individually. I'll have to try it out a bit more. There's also the mascot of the game, Endoflame, who you have to kill to earn a bunch of sun and a fertilizer. It's very strange to say the least. We soon unlock the Fume Shroom, Hypno Shroom, and fan favorite Scaredy Shroom, who can mostly only combine with one another. It is strange, some of these combinations. The Starfruit one just refuses to shoot, and I do not understand why. And once the Ice Shroom is added, I think it's pretty obvious what effect that's going to have on the plants you can combine it with. It always freezes all zombies on screen, so there's no real reason to not combine it with something. Same with the Doom Shroom, who also just so happens to make every plant he combines with look 10 times cooler. Next, we reach the pool levels, or river levels I suppose. I love the few squash variants you can get. A squash 3-peater is extremely cursed, and these squash lily pads can spawn new ones over time. And before I can even get to unlocking the cattail, I can just use the fertilizer to upgrade the lily pad. And I like the new giant dolphin ships. I would love more massive zombie vehicles to demolish my OP plants. And speaking on that, this game felt incredibly easy at this point. All my plants were insanely powerful and nothing could pass the first few columns. I sort of expected the difficulty to go up as I played, not down. So I went to the settings and looked at the sexy bunny girl for a bit. Wait, that's not the right game. So I went into the settings and changed it to Merciless mode. Hopefully that's not too tough for me, but it's a bit boring to have zero challenge here. It seemed to help a bit, but I was still facing each and every way without even moving my mouse. Let's just crank to the hardest difficulty, we might as well. And then it was suddenly way too tough for me. Who would have thought? It is cool you can adjust to just the right difficulty for your skill level though. After 27 levels, we finally have our first conveyor belt, only allowing you to use the plants introduced in this world. It went completely fine until the final wave. The Gargantuar is massive and took countless jalapeno hits without a scratch. But after that, we moved to the fog levels. Of course, my favorite. These Sunsea shrooms are disgusting by the way, but they earn you a whopping 50 sun once they're grown, so it's definitely worth it. Thankfully, Planturn joins us just a little later, so we can light up the playing field and make some really awesome looking cactus. The miners and whale rider zombies really add a level of challenge there I wasn't prepared for. Thankfully we get the starfruit during this time, but man, it is tough to manage everything happening all at once. The difficulty has definitely picked up again. Although, if I have to be honest, these water levels haven't introduced much, especially after the first two chapters with almost constant new mechanics. I'm still enjoying myself, but not nearly as much as I was just starting things out. I am not going to pretend to understand how magnets work, but they are pretty crucial in this level in particular, and it allows us to make starfruit jesters. The final level, once again, forces you to use all the plants from that chapter, so we get a lot of magnetic and lantern plants out here. Once we finish up, we're onto the roof levels, which are more like a rocky terrain in the shape of a roof levels. Time to get some lobbing plants, and their fusions in the mix of the final solo levels and the adventure mode. It's fun to have them use the umbrella leaf to bounce their shots forward, or putting the garlic's freaked out eyes on everyone, even the blover. Everything on the zombie side is pretty standard, until whenever the hell that shows up. It's a little Zomboss walnut with imps hiding inside of it, and apparently these basketball guys can just drive forward now and kill your entire defense. That's real cool. The umbrella leaf is so dang important now. It can stop these weird walnuts, clumps of zombies, bungee zombies, and hey, we can make the freaky walnuts our own if we want to. They're kinda creepy though, maybe I shouldn't. Money was never really a thing in this game, but now that we've unlocked Marigold, we can see the devastating power of gold plants. I had no idea. Anyways, I actually can't believe how OP the umbrella leaf is. Literally nothing gets past it. These new watermelon pogos, no match. What the heck? I was super excited to unlock the Cob Cannon and see all his fusions, but I could only get him to be fire and ice. Still, he absolutely trivializes these levels. There were new zombies I didn't even get to watch do anything, they just died instantly. And finally we have one last conveyor belt level where we can make everything a watermelon, which is of course completely unbeatable for the zombies. From there you can choose to do it all again in New Game Plus, and there are new elements including new plants and fusions, but I'll leave that journey for you to take. Before we wrap up, there's something called the Odyssey as well, and no, it doesn't include Mario, and no Homer either. You're given 10 crazy looking fusions you can work towards in an endless mode of the game. I'm personally not a big endless mode fan, but considering the amount of OP combinations of plants there are in this game, I feel like fusions gotta have one of the more enjoyable endless mode experiences. Obviously there's mini games and challenges too, and so many fusions I never got to see, but like I've said countless times now, I'm hoping you guys who are excited to try these games yourselves will get into it, not just watch me spoil every single fun thing you can find. Fusion is an incredible idea that makes way too much sense for this franchise. With all the variants of Pea Shooter or the lobbing plants already out there, they were just begging to be physically combined to achieve those forms. I have to imagine that's where the inspiration for this idea came from. And obviously some of the funnier and out of left field fusions you can discover in this game are just sort of a byproduct of that. Every single system already in PvZ has been reworked here, even the money. There's no store in this game, you can only use it for creating silver to gold plants and using their special abilities. It is truly magical just discovering everything for the first time, trying out new combinations when you unlock a plant, and playing the first game in a brand new way. There's clearly a ton of effort put into this. As far as I know, it still gets updates, and although I love the first game very dearly, yes, I do believe Fusion is better. It's crazy, I know. Now let's move to the final, most highly praised PvZ mod I've ever encountered. Reflourished is always the frontrunner of suggested PvZ2 mods. You can't go anywhere without someone recommending it. But there's another game that seems to be sort of an underdog. Maybe it's less well known or more difficult to recommend to normies, I don't know. But people swear it is their favorite Plants vs Zombies 2 experience, and I gotta see what all the fuss is about. Let's end this video by playing Plants vs Zombies 2 Alternate Universe. Real fans call it Altverse for short, so that's what I'll be doing through this section. The tutorial shows us the basics. We'll be earning 25 sun per drop, there are female zombies, and a bunch of custom music and remixes of music from the game. Very cool. I love how the last level of the tutorial gives you 2 plants from each world with portals for each zombie type as well. Since Ancient Egypt is first, followed by the Pirate Seas and Wild West, we'll be starting at Far Future, a world I somehow haven't gotten to play until this point. If you're looking for something flashy or brand new to happen, that's not really what Altverse is about. It's trying to balance the game and make it feel like a proper sequel to the original game, rather than changing as much as they did for the official release. We still get all the same plans, but they have new sun costs, recharge timers, and balancing. It's something we've seen quite a bit now, so how does Altverse do it differently? Well, for starters, so many of these mods love to increase the challenge by just spamming zombies at you. Maybe I'm too early in, but it really feels like that's not the goal of this game. It certainly isn't how PvZ1 was handled. Plants just took longer to set up and get placed, while always having to deal with the early zombies coming at you. There's not a lot, yet it's just as overwhelming because you need more time and sun to get things going. I like a lot of the other ones I've played, but something about this one just feels right. It feels like things have been balanced properly, not making the hordes of zombies bigger, not making the plants weaker, simply making the time and sun you need much more important. At least that's how things felt in Far Future, and it was a real challenge. I had to adapt to that kind of playstyle quickly and plant a lot more sunflowers. I will say, they made the flying zombies completely bypass low attackers and lawnmowers, which is incredibly rude and I will never forgive them for it. Alright, let's move to Neon Mixtape Tour. As I said earlier, I really don't like this world in the official release, so I'd love to completely flip my opinion of it in Altverse. We get even less sun from the sky now, as apparently we are in dusk during these levels. Immediately the music is way better. I love the PvZ1 remixes using the sound fonts from these worlds. The biggest gimmick of Neon Mixtape Tour is when the music changes, causing specific zombies to use their special ability of sorts. Some levels change the music constantly, so even the zombies are at a disadvantage and can't keep up. When the intensive carrot is introduced, we get a revive only level, which they should have done originally and who knows why they didn't. If you choose the wrong order to revive your plants, entire lanes can get messed up thanks to that kicking loser. But your goal is stealthily to get the red stingers kicked to the back, where they can attack for you. The level has such genuinely well-made design, which you don't see much in conveyor belt levels. You get iceberg lettuces for each special zombie, so you can freeze them on the spike weeds while you gather more intensive carrots. This level alone is better than all the official Neon Mixtape Tour levels. We're introduced to a new zombie with some kiss makeup on. I believe he's from the Chinese version, not an original concept, but he drops down on a stereo that damages your plants. Good thing we have a medic. And using intensive carrot actually makes sense now. It only costs 50 sun. What a crazy concept. They made a plant make sense to use? I can't believe this. I'm having a blast. These levels are really good. I actually like Neon Mixtape Tour. It's insane. Now that we're through the returning chapters, Altverse is currently in the process of making an all-new, incredibly polished world. Crimson Front is coming soon, as far as I know, and it seems to be war-themed. Plants fighting a tank is gonna go hard, dude. It looks really awesome, and I'm generally sad it's not here yet. But there is a new chapter we can try in the meantime, Timeless Avenue. There isn't a new world theme, but it's filled with community-made levels, even featuring a Reflourished crossover. That's a really fun idea. I know I only played a couple worlds here, and that's probably because we've now tried every world over the course of 4 or so PvZ2 mods, but I'm also a little bit PvZ2'd out. I need a break from this game. I'm gonna go back and play through all that PvZ anime mod as a quick palate cleanser. But for real, if you wish PvZ2 felt closer to the pacing of the original game, if you want to enjoy the level structure and new ideas this game features, I would recommend Alternate Universe over any other. It may not have unique level themes yet, but I think Crimson Front is going to be the start of some really cool new updates for this game. When I'm looking to play some PvZ2 again in the future, I think I'd want to play it through this mod. If Neon Mixtape Tour was that fun, I can really only imagine how good the other worlds will be. And please, if you played through all this mod, which world is your favorite? I'd love to know. I do in fact think Alternate Universe is better than Plants vs Zombies 2. It doesn't do anything crazy, it just does it very well. And now that we're finished covering mods for today, here's my list of them from most favorite to least favorite. And yes, it includes Fusion, even though it's a fan game, I know. A lot of the PvZ1 mods were really fun for me, while a lot of the PvZ2 mods ended up feeling fairly similar. These are all just my personal opinions anyways. I'd love to hear if you agree or disagree with my ordering here. After this video, I question why I've been sitting around waiting for PopCap to do something with their franchise. Why the hell do I even care anymore what they're up to? Plants vs. Zombies mods have been here waiting, and I could have been having the time of my life with the franchise I love, playing new game after new game. Sure, a lot of them reuse the plants and levels from the games they're based on, but time and time again, I was blown away by how different they managed to be. I know people prefer Reflourished over the official game, and stuff like Requiem or Fallen tackle a very similar idea, but my favorites to play were the completely new experiences. Garden Rush was such an incredible one to start with. It's very short but creates an entire new experience that still fits the feeling of a classic PvZ game. The DLC mod for the original game adds new levels, plants, zombies, and minigames seamlessly without tarnishing the game we know and love. But by far the best ones were Zombtopia, Fusion, and Alternate Univerz. I didn't feel like I was working on a video while I played these games. The motivation to keep playing them was because I enjoyed it. People are out there making the games we want to play, or didn't know we needed to play. And here's the kicker. They're basically doing it all for free. For the love of the series, the idea they've come up with. Or for us, the community. I hope more than anything else that after this video releases, these creators get more attention on their mods and fan games. I hope people go and find ways to support them, or to join the community of players who are dedicated to these projects. So many of them are ongoing or in the early stages of development, and it's not easy to keep everything moving. I don't know, I'm sort of rambling at this point, but all I want to say is I'm impressed and proud of the creativity and dedication of these mods. They give all of us fans such wonderfully exciting and entertaining games to play, and I hope this video conveyed just how truly happy I've been to discover each and every one. I know a lot of people are going to be asking for download links and walkthroughs to play them in the comments here. I won't be putting direct links to any mods in the description. For all I know, I downloaded some viruses while making this, but I can try to put some videos in the description that lead you to those links. And do not trust them blindly. Please be careful when downloading this stuff from the internet. I'm not great at getting emulators or mods to work, so if I figure this out on my own, I promise you guys can find all that stuff too. There are plenty more mods I could cover in another video if you don't like. I had originally included a bunch more, even adding Zombtopia and Fallen halfway through the making of this video, but I figured this is plenty long as is. I have more I want to try, and I'm sure you'll have more you'd like to suggest, so please let me know. I don't make videos this long usually. It was both grueling and extremely rewarding, so all I'd ask in return is if you like this video and leave a comment just letting me know your thoughts on it. Thank you for watching all the way through, it means a lot. If you'd like to support big projects like this in the future, then please consider becoming a member of the channel today. Thank you Patrick Byerjohn, Keep, Gall Guy, Jep the Legend, Cheaper Yang, Test Monkey, Callan Ford, Perskip and Enter Checky, Mr. Odell, Timur, Kuranov, Aaron the Ghoul, Freakish Smile, Ceramic Tiger, Geminot, Lewis, Omegon, Jonathan Biscoff, Lavatane, Green Man Yeah, McCrazy, Bright Streak, OK, Dante, Skibbity, MGR Damadan, and Mirai. I am already predicting all the skill issue comments I'm gonna get on this video. It's always super vulnerable for me to show my PvZ skills, or lack of skills to be more accurate. I literally tried including the mod called Shuttle in this video, played it for 2 hours and made it to the second world, and rage quit and crashed out so hard I had to delete it from my script entirely. I'm gonna go back and play through all that PvZ2 anime mod. I'm gonna go back. Immediately the music is way better. I love the PvZ1 remixes, the sound. Immediately the music is way better. I love the PvZ1 remixes using the. I need a break from this game. I'm gonna go back.